Hey everybody, this is our last session of the Miracles of Jesus. I hope you enjoyed this series. Next week we're going to start what's called one-liners, and I hope you enjoy that. Well, we're going to talk about the last miracle of Christ on earth, his last discussion with his disciples before he ascends into heaven. So we're going to go to the book of Acts for this. Acts chapter 1 through 11. Read that through today if you like, but we're going to start in verse 6. Then they gathered around him, them being the disciples, and asked him, Lord, are you at this time going to restore the kingdom to Israel? Interesting. After all this time, they are still waiting for the kingdom of Israel to be restored to its former glory of David's reign, where they're a world power again and expel the Roman Empire. And of course, we know that's not what happened. But it makes you wonder, Jesus, why didn't Jesus start a new country? Why didn't he? Did that counter the purpose of Christ? Did it hinder his the Christian witness if we were to forcibly remove all our obstacles? These are questions you might have, and some are pretty logical, but some of them make you think that perhaps there's a greater calling, a greater purpose to Christ. In verse 7 he says, it is not for you to know the time or dates the Father has set by his own authority. He's saying, don't worry about it, guys. That's on God. You don't have to mess with that. But then he says, you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. And you will be my witness in Jerusalem and all in Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. So this country that the Hebrews are hoping the Messiah would develop isn't really a country. I mean, Romans could be Romans, Greeks could be Greeks. If you're from Asia, be an Asian. If you like the San Antonio Spurs, you're a Spurs fan. But he's saying that you're going to be witnessed to through the Holy Spirit, who's going to develop you into what Christ has in store, in his mind, what is your purpose. So I asked you today, as we move through the weekend and we start our new series next week, just to reflect on your life and try to develop what the Holy Spirit has in store for you. Do you have daily encounters with the Holy Spirit? And of course, this is what we call Pentecost, when the Lord does ascend into heaven, and they wait a few weeks, and further in the book of Acts, we read about the day of Pentecost. But do you have those encounters with the Holy Spirit anymore? Are you looking for something more tangible, like a new country? And these are some important questions to ask yourself. Because Jesus said, quite vividly, for John baptized with water, but in a few days you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit. So my prayer is for this weekend for you, to have a fresh encounter with the Holy Spirit. Meet him new, with new eyes, new perceptions. Don't limit yourself, don't limit the Holy Spirit. And I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend in search of the truth of the Holy Spirit and what it means to you. Because this, in my mind, is the greatest miracle of all. Jesus left us not as orphans, not as estranged, but he left us with the gift of the Holy Spirit, the power to unite with him in a special way. And I challenge you to continue to build up this relationship and establish a firmer relationship with the Holy Spirit, which leads us to Christ. All right, well, I had a great time with this series, and I hope you did too. We will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend.